Okay, once again, thank the generous anonymous sponsor who is sponsoring this series of Midas of Moshiach Marathon, and whoever wants to contribute at trainingposkim.org to our campaign, which is going on right now, is welcome to do so and encouraged to do so that we should have Bezrat Hashem poskim for the next generation. The next attribute that we're going to talk about today is Yirei Chet Yimasu, that the people who fear transgression will be disgusting, and very related to Chacham Sofrim Tisrach. It's just that Chacham Sofrim Tisrach was talking about those people who write Sfarim, the Sofrim, right? Those people will be Tisrach. Those people will consider putrid. Yeah, Yirei Chet Yimasu is a different type of concept. Right? People have Yirei Chet Yimasu, and the Hon Usher once again gives a beautiful shot. He says, "Mitokshin is haram harbe machalam." They pick something up to eat it, and they analyze it. They look at it. They want to check if there's a bug in it, and they're very, very careful. I remember once I was at the Israeli embassy in the American embassy in Tel Aviv, and I was sitting with someone who wasn't religious, and I was about to eat an apple, and I was checking it if there's bugs in it, cutting it open, slicing it to see if there's any bugs in there. And I said, "What are you making such a big deal for? What's the big deal about eating a couple of bugs?" Yeah. And we know that that's not true. We know that every time a person eats a bug, he's over either on 5, 6, 7 lavin. It's a terrible, terrible thing for eating bugs, and therefore we have to be really, really careful as much as possible. Keep ourselves away from bugs in any way for we're able to, and therefore this same midah of Yirei Chet, when you see somebody Yirei Chet, the person who doesn't have Yirei Chet, the person who fears something else, or he doesn't have any fear of anything at all, right? So such a person is repulsed. In fact, yeah, he's repulsed when he sees Yirei Chet, because he doesn't understand it at all. It's something which you don't understand. It seems almost absurd. We find that something you're not used to, right? Chazal tells us about his perach, right? The men doing women's work and the women doing men's work. That's called a bros perach. It's very, very difficult to adjust to something not used to. And when people see, right, somebody making such a big deal out of not eating bugs, it's difficult for them. It's not something they're used to. They're trained in a different way of thinking. But the truth is that the Torah gives us the true outlook to life, and the way of Yirei Chet, right, is really the best way a Jew could possibly live his life. Unfortunately, it might be Masu, but we should try our best, yeah, not to see. We should see the greatness of those people who have Yirei Chet. If someone has Yirei Chet, we should praise him and look at him as somebody who's of true gifts to Klal Yisrael. Right? Person has Yirei Chet, because it's a very, very high madrega. It's a high madrega, right? Although fear of Gehenna, fear of punishment, is actually a very, very low madrega, a very low spiritual level. But what the Bali Musa called the Yira B'chush, someone who has really feels Yira's fate, right? And the truth is, the higher a person's madrega, right, the more that he'll actually feel hate, Yira. Just like a person fears a dangerous robber, or he fears a lion, right? The fear hate, yeah, is something very, very great. And we should all try as much as possible to instill that fear within our hearts. And just the opposite. It shouldn't be a muscle. It should be something which is beautiful and praised, and something very, very extremely, extremely valuable. To alter our personalities, to see and to feel um, the what Yira State is all about. Right? The word Yira comes from the word Ria. Right? You could see. You could see the transgression in front of your eyes. You could see the negative repercussions it has. You could see in Shemayim the 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 negativity that comes out from such an hanaga and siyata Shemaya. We should all be zoicha that instead of Yerichet being masu, Yerichet should be praised until the sky, and we should all love to have. We should all love to have Yerichet. There is such a thing by a husband and wife relationship of moyasalai, that a woman is allowed to ask for a divorce even if her husband's a nice guy and he might be very smart, he might be very talented, but sometimes there's something called moasalai because something just rubs a person the wrong way, and that usually comes from the fact that you don't appreciate, right? You don't appreciate the husband's or the wife's midas. You don't appreciate their way of life. You don't appreciate what they're really all about. And this is something we have to be very careful. We have to, by Yuri Hate, we have to know that this is something to really appreciate. It's something so valuable to have that inner feeling, that bodily feeling, as it were, that's the fear of transgression, just like we would fear a lion, we would fear a tiger, we fear a bear, right? That sensation of fear should go throughout our body, that it's so real, right? And that's the godless, the greatness of Yiras Hate, is that it's a real entity and it permeates every single iota of your body and makes us feel that what it really means to fear transgression. Hashem should help us arrive at this very, very high madrega. Amen, Cain, Yay, Son. And once again, we thank Yinan, a sponsor for this series, Training Postgame, .org, to make the website available and known to all through these Midas Moshiach marathon series. This is going to be the last shir today given at the Kosel. Perhaps we'll be able to continue with the marathon in another part of Jerusalem, in our own very own base medrash in Michal Street, Mankind.